You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Right now, I want to go live to the United States Senate, where Congressman Jeffries is making the case for Democrats in the impeachment of Donald Trump. Let's go live right now.
Ukrainians, Mr. Danylyuk starts to ask about a White House meeting, and Ambassador Bolton was trying to parry this back.
As you've seen, President Zelensky didn't just raise the Oval Office meeting on his April 21st call. He raised the meeting on July 21st, fifth call with President Trump again. President Zelensky said on the July 25th call, "I also wanted to thank you for your invitation to visit the United States, specifically Washington, D.C." After the July 25th call, the Ukrainians continued to press for the meeting, but that meeting never happened. Only on September 25th, after the House announced its investigation into the president's misconduct as it relates to Ukraine, and the existence of a whistleblower complaint became public, did President Trump and President Zelensky meet face-to-face for the first time. That meeting was on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. It was dominated by public release of the July 25th call record that had occurred the day before. It was a far cry from the strong demonstration of support that would have been achieved by an Oval Office meeting. Even President Zelensky recognized that a face-to-face talk on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly was not the same as an official Oval Office meeting. Sitting next to President Trump in New York, he again raised a White House meeting. Here is what President Zelensky said.
And I want to thank you for invitation to Washington. Right. You invited me. But I think, I'm sorry, but I think you forgot to tell me the date. But I think in the nearest future.
President Trump was not just withholding a small thing. The Oval Office meeting was a big deal. Ukraine remains at war with Russia. It desperately needs our support. And as a result, the pressure on Ukraine not to upset President Trump, who still refuses to meet with President Zelensky in the Oval Office to this day, continues. David Holmes testified that the Ukrainian government wants an Oval Office meeting even after the release of the security assistance, and that our own United States national security objectives would also benefit from such a meeting.
Although the hold on the security assistance may have been lifted, there were still things they wanted that they weren't getting, including a meeting with the president in the Oval Office. Whether the hold, the security assistance hold continued or not, Ukrainians understood that that's something the president wanted, and they still wanted important things from the president. So I think that continues to this day. I think they're being very careful. They still need us now going forward. In fact, right now, President Zelensky is trying to arrange a summit meeting with President Putin in the coming weeks, to his first face-to-face meeting with him to try to advance the peace process. He needs our support. He needs President Putin to understand that America supports Zelensky at the highest levels. So this doesn't end with the lifting of the security assistance hold. Ukraine still needs us, and as I said, still fighting this war this very day.
Eugene, I'm laughing because the Republicans yesterday forgot to bring their slides in the video. And I think it shows you the ineptness of the folks who were trying to defend Donald Trump. Also, Republicans are doing their best not to pay attention. They're supposed to stay seated for the entire time. Many of them walking in and out. John Roberts refuses to hold them accountable, let them do whatever they want to. So it's laughable watching this whole deal and how they cannot in any way actually own up to what happened. So you have one senator who from Indiana who just said, "Oh no, Trump did nothing." when Trump is in Davos saying, "Yeah, we held the documents, they don't have anything," the dude was admitting, we obstructed.
And what's crazy is that these folk live their lives at this point so day to day, hour to hour, just trying to make sure they aren't pissing off Donald Trump. They aren't looking at the long-term ramifications of this. What you're probably going to see after all this is over. Look, we know that Trump's going to be acquitted, right? It's like I think the best definition of this is essentially having his frat boys, convict him of something that we know he did. We know Trump's going to be acquitted by the Republican Senate, but what's going to happen in the next 2 election cycles is you're going to see Susan Collins probably get booted. You're going to see Cory Gardner probably get booted. You're going to see Martha McSally get blown out by Mark Kelly. And that's just 3. And then you can run the gamut on pick one from people like Tom Tillis, any 2 in Georgia, and a litany of other races that are
possibly McConnell,
possibly Mitch. Cocaine Mitch could be gone. But they aren't thinking long term. They're thinking, hey, how do I not piss Trump off in this day-to-day environment? Not, hey, I'm on a daily basis pissing off voters that are going to remember this in 2020 election. What I tell people all the time is that, look, in 2018. You saw a record turnout for people having the first opportunity to vote against Donald Trump. What the hell do you think they're going to do when they have the opportunity to vote against Donald Trump himself, not just his party?
Right. Yeah, they're not counting the cost. And I love what Dr. Jason said yesterday when he was on RMU. He said, whatever that is that Donald Trump has on them, bottle that up and sell it. Yeah. So this short term. The other thing that I hope that people are remembering is something that I shared on Twitter the other day is that you have a Roberts Court. This is the same person that's responsible for the 2010 Citizens United decision, and then you also have him responsible for the 2013 Section 5 gutting of the BRA. And so to the extent that the American people are seeing that there's such a lackluster involvement in democracy on the behalf of the Republicans, from a person who got his SCOTUS seat from a Republican president, that when they show up to the polls to make sure that they are issuing a personal referendum on who they want to see in power, who they want to see leading what fragments we have left of democracy.
No, that's absolutely right. I mean, and as a student of American democracy, and we all are, but listening yesterday, and y'all talked about it yesterday on the show, but listening to Adam Schiff, I think that was one of the most remarkable flights of public oratory, really in American history. He was making a direct plea for the future of American democracy. Yes. And as we've just heard, as y'all both have just laid out, what we're really seeing on trial is American democracy. Yeah. And once it's broken, it's not going to be rewoven. America's a settler state. It was never a nation. It's a state with many different nations in it. Yeah. Once you have violated the principle that there is the law that holds us together, as Schiff said yesterday, there's nothing to stop anyone who has power from doing whatever the hell they want. Yep. And so what I think the mistake the Republicans have made, as you're saying, Eugene, is that they think perhaps they can overplay this, expecting that other people believe in American democracy more than them. No. No one really believes in American democracy. That social contract is only held together if the possibility that the law is above us exists. Once they've destroyed that, then it becomes, let's just get our people in. And as Schiff said yesterday, if it's a Democrat that comes in and says, I'm going to do everything by executive fiat, the Democratic Party then just says, can we stack the legislature to back our woman or back our man? Right. You've destroyed the idea of the rule of law, and that is what they're risking in the federal legislature. Even as Hakeem speaks and as Val Deming demonstrates, they're risking it all. Right.
Or competing interests for that matter. The Congress and the executive branch, the way our Republicans design is for them to clash. You should have competing interests. You should have competing powers. But what you're seeing, with the do away with the filibuster and the way, these folk, a lot of these folk even stood up the bush on things. They stood up the bush on things, and they're just rolling on Trump. I mean, it's sad to see.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, join Reverend Dr. Jackie Hood Martin as she engages others to think like a leader. Are you looking to enhance your leadership or that of your team in 2020? Well, you can join her online course and mastermind group, How Successful People Think. She'll be your guide as you learn timeless leadership principles to apply to daily living. The offer expires on February 28th. To register or start the online course, go to www.livetolead.com/Leesburg. Livetolead.com/Leesburg. Again, it is it's an online leadership course that you want, and it's called How Successful People Think. And so the deadline is February 28th. And so livetolead.com/Leesburg. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.